Hello everybody. Due to how well last night's stream went down, I figured we would have a go at looking for some details, looking for more 1969 controversies, some other cool little tweaks and changes that this development team might have done, because for the most part the work is extraordinary. Although you know what I should have really done was change the FMVs over, but I'll not bother. For the sake of this, we're just gonna have a quick blitz through. I'm gonna play it on rookie. And just see how far we get. So for the purposes of today's stream, we will be going with Leon. Interestingly, I don't think that's as good as the original. Hello, Kendo. Nice to see you. We will get started in just a moment. We're going to be requiring the eagle-eyed amongst the community to try and spot new things and new details, and just have a giggle. We're going to be going rookie mode. I'm not bothered about the difficulty or anything like that. It's just going to be a case of just playing through it and having fun.
Resident Evil 2. A bizarre incident occurred in the outskirts of an American suburb called Raccoon City. It was later revealed that the terrible disaster had been caused by the T virus, a mutagenic toxin created by the international enterprise Umbrella Incorporated for use in bioweapon experiments. The Raccoon City Police Department's Special Stars Unit immediately began investigation in the affair. The case was apparently closed, thanks to the efforts of STARS members Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. But the Umbrella Corporation's experiments were far from finished.
Good to have you here, man. Thank you.
got here?
Guy's a maniac. Why'd he bite me?
I know we only saw this last night, but I just thought I'd let it play, give a few people a chance to get joined in.
Man, what a mess. What could have done this? What was that? What are these things? All right, that's far enough. Don't move! Don't move. No! What's up with that guy? That was a clean hit. I'm running out of ammo here.
Wait! Don't shoot!
Get down! We can't stay out here. Head to the police station. It'll be a lot safer. There! Buckle up.
Okay. What's going on? I arrived in town, and the whole place went
Great.
insane.
The radio's out.
You're a cop, right?
Yeah, first day on the job. Great, huh? Name's Leon Kennedy. Nice to meet you.
Mine's Claire. Claire Redfield. I came to find my brother, Chris.
Hey, could you open the glove box?
Sure. There's a gun inside.
Better take it with you.
Look out!
You okay?
Isn't that a trick they do repeat in the remake somewhere? I'm pretty sure there's a Leon-looking zombie I've seen somewhere.
Claire!
Leon!
I'm okay. Head to the station. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
Okay then guys, to recap, this is the Seamless HD project that a great community of fans have put together for Resident Evil 2. It uses new technologies to upscale the backgrounds and make them look the best they ever have. It's a really cool mod. It uses the GameCube version of Resident Evil 2 as a base, and is toggleable with the delete key. So one touch of the key, you can see the difference clear as day. We had a bit of a look through the early part of the game yesterday and found a couple of very surprising changes, a couple of really welcome ones. So today we'll just go through the game as quick as we can, which is why we're on rookie mode, and just look for any cool little things that have changed or been, tweaked subtly. If you spot anything, feel free to shout out.
Sorry about that. I thought you were one of them.
What's going on in this town?
Hold on. I don't have a clue. By the time I noticed something was wrong, the entire city was infested with zombies.
If you think you spot something, give me a shout, and I'll toggle the background so that straight away there's one here where the parts and repair has been rewritten to be eligible. You can tell it's a different font, things like that. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think I run all the streams in 1080p. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, it's giving you a bit of grief. Oh wait, probably fine. I don't even know why I'm picking up handgun ammo, to be honest. I'll just occasionally just toggle just to see if I've spotted anything myself. I did not know that about Twitch, Kendo. Thanks for that. I had no idea. Oh man. So even rookie mode, you can still fluff up. So one of the first real welcome changes that we noticed last night was if you access what was commonly referred to for years as the Phantom Gate, they have actually in the top of the screen there added RPD Raccoon Police, so it better matches the background in Resident Evil 3. This is quite a welcome change, and it's kind of stuff that this project does really right. One of the changes the Seamless HD Project doesn't do right is the addition of the Resident Evil 2 Remake police logo, complete with 1969 date at the bottom, as you can see there. Now, we had a bit of a chat about this in the community last night, and there's some people who think that this isn't an issue because it could just simply mean that the RPD was established in 1969, so it still fits. But anyone who's got like the supplement material to the Resident Evil 2 remake will know it came with a map, and on that map it mentions about how the precinct reopened as a museum in the museum reopened as a precinct in 1969, which directly contradicts Outbreak File 2's sort of timeline of it being in the late 80s. So this is one addition that I'm not overly keen on.
Man. Who are you? Oh, you must be the new guy. Leon. Sorry, but it looks like your party has been canceled. What happened? About 2 months ago, there was this incident involving zombies in a mansion.
That's a
located
real
in the
tough question,
outskirts of this
Kendo.
city. Chris and the other STARS members discovered that Umbrella was behind
I guess I do
everything.
quite like the
They
Mr. X
risked
being a
their lives
constant
to reveal
nemesis
the
style
truth.
threat. I think that's a
But
mechanic
no
that's
one
really, really
believed
impressive.
them. Not long after that, all this
Outside of
started
that,
to happen.
I think the original pretty much does everything better, with the
Hang in
highlight
there.
being
Don't worry about me.
Hunk's
Just
team versus
rescue the
Birkin.
survivors in the other
I
rooms.
think is one of the best video game cutscenes that's ever
Take
been
this
made.
keycard. You should be able to unlock
It was
the doors in
perhaps
the hall
wise
with
that they
this.
didn't even attempt to
Now
recreate
go.
that for the remake.
But just go.
Fine, but I'm coming back for you. Just hold on.
Because I'm always a little bit cautious about how stable emulation is, I'm going to do a few saves. Even though I shouldn't really need to, it's just in case the emulator crashes. I completely agree. In 1998, to see a sequence like that done as well as it was mind-blowing to behold. You know, we didn't have those kind of sequences and cutscenes in games back then. Should we go Gatling gun or rocket launcher? I don't really know. I haven't used a Gatling gun for years. So again, you can see they've changed the RPD logo on the hangar there. It is notably different. I think obviously, Kendo, the music for this game is infinitely better than the remake, to the point where, you know, everyone really wants to be getting the DLC and swapping the music out. There's no point in even indulging the remake music, given how little of it there actually is. Exactly, yeah.
Oh boy.
They always get a cheap hit in, don't they, with a Gatling gun? Another little change we noticed was the basketball poster on the right there has actually been resourced and changed somewhat. I don't need that. I don't know why I still keep picking them up. I think we didn't get to see yesterday because we played as Claire, is Leon's portrait is different as well from the original art. Again, doesn't look too bad. I agree with you, I really do prefer the drawn style. I didn't think Claire's one looked too bad yesterday, and it looked like an entirely original piece of art, but Leon there, I can tell is based from that the CG renders. But there's something really endearing about the drawn art. Hello, Baby Mac, nice to see you. This is welcome to the Seamless HD Project. And you are just in time for possibly the best change they could have ever done. It's the Nemesis window in Resident Evil 2. So for comparison, there we go. I'll tell you what is nice as well is they have updated the text on the sign so you can actually read Star's office there, which is again really welcome. If you do hear the sound change a bit like that, it's just because I'm speeding up the door transitions. You can tab through on this emulator to speed the game up. So for certain bits, I will just we'll just mess about, because there's no need for this to take a massive amount of time tonight. The window is just a cool touch, and it's something that Capcom should have done themselves with future revisions. It's always good to try and clear up continuity problems if they exist. But again, if any of you guys see one, do shout out, and we'll stop and have a look. This room has one here. The plaque on the statue has been changed to be fully readable now, which is a nice touch. I just can't wait to get to the marshalling yard, guys. I can imagine that looks. Some of the outdoor stuff in Resident Evil 3 looked really nice. It sort of helped the foreground stand out against the sky, so it'll be interesting to see what the marshalling yard will look like. Hey, Sonny, there might be a change just waiting for us. We just don't know. Agreed. It seems almost ridiculous that to get to the full story of Resident Evil 7, you effectively need airsoft guns and supplemental brochures. The reason why I found out today, when we looked at Resident Evil 3 yesterday, and I noted that the upscale version of the Stars photo looks different and out of colour and washed out, is because for some reason they've used the Stars photo from this game and not the slightly higher quality one and slightly more colourful one from the original version of Resident Evil 3. I can't imagine they wouldn't have upscaled Rebecca, because why wouldn't you? But just bear with. I can't see many changes in this room. In fact, I don't even think they've changed the stars. Oh, they have changed the stars logo. It's actually quite a little bit different. I'll be very disappointed, BB Mac, if that's the case. There we go. We also noted yesterday that the Made in Heaven art on the jacket is different, but to be honest, it just makes it all the more seamless. I don't need anything. The Back to the Future photo there is all the more clearer now. Ready? It's one of my favourite bits in the entire series. There's something really endearing about the classic text that I miss. I love that sort of pixelated, blocky text, but I do appreciate it's not for everybody. Someone will have to throw me a link to the Residents of Evil Discord, because I don't think I'm on it.
Leon!
It's good to see you're still among the living. It looks like we're not gonna find your brother here after all.
I love this scene so much, guys.
There's no reason for us to stay any longer than necessary. Let's split up, look for any survivors, and get out of here.
Right.
One last thing. Here's a radio. Take it. That way we can keep in touch if anything happens.
I was literally lost for words in Remake 2 with the classic music DLC when this started playing when you go to the SARS office. I couldn't believe it. It's just one of my favourite pieces of music in the series. It's one of those things that I remember so clearly the first time I played it. It just felt so special. The coded message was hilarious in the fact that there were legitimately some fans that completely didn't interpret what it meant. Whereas, like, you know, for most of us, it was absolutely clear as day what Chris was trying to say. Oh man. So like I say, shout if you see something. Any logo, any bit of signage you think doesn't look right, we'll just toggle it out and we'll take a look. It's fine, we can go back. We're not in any particular rush. It's all good. Be interesting to know what. Just bear with me a sec, guys. I'm just going to have a bit of an experiment with save states as well. I'm just very, very dubious that the game will crash. I don't have a lot of luck with I don't have a lot of luck with these emulations on streams, and anyone who watched the Code Veronica one know I lost about an hour's worth of progress when the emulator decided to crash on me. See, for all the changes, they left police spelled backwards on the box. Nice. See, what I'm waiting for really is an ultimate fan project which can do this work with the backgrounds, because I mean, you know, look at them, they look amazing. Puts in the source next FMVs, and goes the extra mile and restores the N64 EX files in a version of the game that also has like the battle mode and things like that. Just be ace. Then it would truly be like the truly definitive version of Resident Evil 2. And there was not a dry eye in the house. For Factory, yeah. I'm trying to think of other instances where the text is reversed in this. I think it's mainly Resident Evil 3 that had those kind of shenanigans. Let's see what Rebecca looks like in this upscale. Wow, was anyone expecting that? The interesting thing is I've seen this image on Twitter actually circulating around, and I didn't realise it was from this. I was not expecting that. Thoughts, guys? Yay or nay on that one? That's you know, again, that's changing. That's not just simply upscaling what's there. That's actually changing the art, and that is a little bit more. That's a little bit more. I don't know how to say it really. What do you think? Do you think they should have left it? I personally think they should have left it as well. I think the important thing is about trying to preserve the original art as much as you can, without changing another director's work, if you know what I mean. Things like, I know some people would argue changing that plaque is arguably changing the work, but it's still, the thing about changing that plaque is you're still maintaining the look of the original, you're just making it eligible. I mean, one of the things that I celebrate the Resident Evil 4 fan HD project is everything's been done so respectfully in you know, maintaining the original art as much as they can. So they've actually changed the art on the coffee machine there. But it's enough the same. You know, the actual design of it is exactly the same. It's just upscaled a bit and redrawn. But that's okay. I mean, what do you guys think to the upscaled art of the items? Do you prefer the sort of almost hand-drawn quality of this menu, or the sort of pseudo 3D model version of this one? I mean, I'm a sucker for pixel art, so you know, I don't find that offensive to look at all. The background's a slightly different issue because the character model stands out too much against it, so upscaling it makes it look really nice. It's okay, BB Mac. Rebecca's a very very nice looking young lady. Oh god, I hope not, Kendo. The rumour that, you know, the alleged rumour that some fans think they have inside information on about them redoing the remake in the style of RE2 remake makes my brain dribble out my ear. Hello Roger Kent, thank you for joining. We're just taking a look at changes made to this version of Resident Evil 2, which is the Seamless HD Project, which for the most part is absolutely wonderful. Didn't one of the devs say they could see themselves remaking Resident Evil 7, and it was like, Jesus Christ, leave it alone, guys, please. Look, they've upscaled this background from Outbreak File 2 quite dramatically. There's no major changes. I don't even know why I'm taking the small keys. I don't need any of this. I unfortunately do not speak Spanish, Roger. English only, unfortunately. I do wish I could speak other language. I'm very jealous of bilingual people, but unfortunately I do not have the brain capacity. Thank you. I completely agree, Kendo. I think that just came from the desire to keep it as self-contained as possible. I appreciate that Fifth Element reference, thank you. Yeah, I think Remake 2 and 3 will be very interlinked within their own little bubble. I never noticed that the HD version makes it all the more clear that the tank's already ruptured, isn't it? I guess they were hoping you didn't notice. And there you go, there's another bit of changed art for you guys then. I'm all for things like that, I don't mind stuff like that at all. It feels like a natural update. You're okay, Kendo. There's people in the UK who can't speak real English. It's fine. I think the GameCube version did always have really impressively done models anyway. I think we was always spoiled in that regard. You mean not Saturn Resident Evil 1? Saturn Jill by any chance? I've seen it, don't worry. That's why I was saying it. Yeah, unfortunately these Saturn models don't look all that much better through an emulator upscaled either. They were a bit rough. Actually, I've gone the wrong way here. I do not need to go this way. What do I? Oh, hang on, diamond key. Of course I do. Oh, I don't think I've seen that one. Oh, that'd be quite cool. You haven't hate a laugh. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look. Okay, they've completely, for some reason, updated the notice board there. Completely changed it. They've redrawn it to how they see fit. So, yeah. And they've added a wall of text there. I'm just going to take a 30-second break and then we'll get back. We will try and make the time for you. Go through. I mean, I might, if time allows me, I'd like to go back through the sort of canon in the order, like when Bats and I did it a few years ago. It was great fun doing that. There's so many projects, I want to get on with, and just never find the time. A few good edits I want to do, and you don't mean that, surely? I'm sure he doesn't mind though, Kendo. You're part of that team. I initially started putting the pieces to camera I did. When we were talking about issues with the series and that on the run up to Resident Evil 2, I kept publishing to my YouTube page because I was dubious about the fact that if I put it on the podcast YouTube page, I feel like I was speaking more for the guys as opposed to my own opinion. And you know, Nick told me I was being very, very silly, and it was absolutely fine to, of course, put it on the, you know, the Project Umbrella podcast page. You know, so I did, and you do feel sometimes that you know you maybe shouldn't, because you don't want to be, like you say, riding on you know, work other people have done. I mean, I've always been very humbled by the fact that, you know, I wasn't part of the original Project Umbrella team, and I'm very, very pleased and grateful that they have let me stick around for so long. The thing I've learned, Kendo, is you can't let thoughts like that get in the way of you doing stuff. I mean, I went through, bearing in mind I did like the RE horror timeline way back when, and for, you know, for a period that was, you know, I was quite celebrated for that, if you like. And since then, since coming away for a few years from sort of being involved in the lore that heavily, I'm way off practice now. People like, you know, Batman, Newsbot and all them, and you know, I even say the likes of Sunny run circles around me now when it comes to the lore. I'm really not what I used to be, and it's that kind of intimidation that actually stops me putting videos out, of like thinking, God, if I put this out and I get a date wrong, I don't want to look stupid. And the great thing about this series is so much of the lore is, you know, it's interpretable. And there's so many things that, like, not one person is necessarily correct. So whatever ideas you've got, I would say go for it, and you know, I think we all do, Sonny, and I think that's part of what makes it great. As long as people just remember to maintain a sort of level of respect for each other and not bite each other's head off when they've got a differing theory, which we don't do anyway, us lot. We're good to have the back and forths and that. You know, and we've got our disagreements. Me and John, you know, Batman, we couldn't be any more different with our opinion of Code Veronica, and like you and I differ on Resident Evil 7. But there's no reason to let that get in the way of what, you know, we all are, which is fans of the series. You know, and I have been toying with the idea, and I've not done it, of addressing this sort of silly level of elitism that seems to be plaguing the community a little bit on social media. There seems to be, I don't know whether you guys saw me talk about this with Kat the other day, but there's a real sort of one-upmanship that's going around at the minute. Everyone's sort of trying to outdo each other. And it really wants to do one, because all it's going to do is just put off people joining the community. But the great thing about knowing people like Batman, Kendo, is that if there is anything you're always slightly unsure of, just drop him a PM or whatever, and he's always more than happy to point people in the right direction. Batman, I said this to you guys the other day on a stream, but he legitimately surprises me near enough every podcast with the stuff he can just reel off. You know, sometimes when I'm on Twitter and you know, people speak to me about the community, I have to go, I'll just check that out, I'll just fire up a quick source or whatever, and he is literally, it's straight from the top of his head every time. I knew he was going to fuck me up. Autopsy room text updated. I think that the most humorous thing for me that's going around at the minute is there's people on Twitter, and you'll know who they are because you'll see them every now and then. And they're the ones that they make Capcom look like the most useless company in the world because everybody's got a source or an insider. The amount of people you see saying, "Well, I've got my sources who know this," I just find it absolutely comical. And one of the ones I read was the fact that it was only literally over the weekend someone had said on Twitter, you know, I've got a source who knows someone inside Capcom who says they are working on a over-the-shoulder remake of the original game. And the thing is, just stuff like that you just know is all made up. It's just to get a conversation going. Honestly, the amount of people who've got a source or an insider or know a guy.
Sorry about that. When I saw the uniform, I thought you were another zombie.
Who are you?
Capcom Unity was what do you want to call it? A mosh pit of the fan base at one point, wasn't it?
Always looking for a scoop. I heard he was locked up in the cell block. Only there's a wrecked car barring.
It didn't help that so much of Resident Evil 6 was leaked, like in the January that it was announced. It really wound the fan base up.
If we work together, we can move this thing. Give me a hand here, will you?
Have you always been Kendo Gun Shop then? That Ada model looks great. Really, really does look good. Used to be Chris versus Boulder. That is genius. That's genius.
Let me guess. You must be Ben, right? Get up, now!
What do you want? I'm trying to sleep here.
The real Ben, guys. Smart journalist, not hipster
Is this the
reporter.
guy?
Ben, you told the city officials that you knew something about what's been going on, didn't you? What did you tell them?
And who the heck are you?
I'm trying to find my boyfriend. His name's John. He was working for a branch office of Umbrella based in Chicago, but he suddenly disappeared 6 months ago. I heard a rumor that he's here in the city.
I don't know anything. And even if I did, why would I want to tell you?
Okay, I say we leave it.
Yeah, I completely
Does
agree.
anyone know where they put the key to this cell?
I have it right here, officer. But I'm not about to leave this cell. Those zombies aren't the only things crawling around out there.
It's fine, baby Mac.
What was that?
Don't worry about it.
Like I said, I'm not leaving this cell. Get out of here before you lead it right to me.
Hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm the only cop left alive in this building.
What?
Look, if you want to live, then you're gonna have to leave with me.
Sally Carhill's
Do you even know
Ada
how
is
to get
just
out of the
on
city?
point in this game.
There's a kennel in the back of the building. Inside the kennel is a manhole. Go through and
The
it'll
voice
take you to
acting
the
for this
sewer
game was
entrance.
way ahead of its
It
time.
won't
It's so
be
good.
easy.
All right, I'm going.
Ben Latte. Ben Latte's absolutely genius. Honestly, Kendo, the stuff you come out with is just amazing. And in fairness to Li Bingbing, she really looks the part. If Sewers looks a little washed out, but I suppose there's not a lot you can do. So again, updated the door signage. Raccoon City Sewer. I think it says there. It's been a while, so I will just chuck a save down just in case. If I forget, when we go back to the precinct, remind me to do that film. Because I will probably forget, and you have to excuse my my voice, guys. It's still not come back to me, which is why it sounds very broken and a bit all over the place. I think Ali Lata was okay as well, but she wasn't the Claire from the games, but she was an okay character, if you like.
Ada? I don't think I've introduced myself yet. My name's Leon. I'm with the RPD. It's a dead end.
We're going to get to see some
You think we
upscaled
get
Ada
exposed
art.
through this shaft?
I wonder if they've done anything with her
Give me a
photo.
boost. I'll go and check.
Here we go. Let's have a look then. So, they have changed Ada's art. And again, hand-drawn. And yet they've upscaled the photo. I wonder where that was taken. Why did we're going to assume that's obviously John. He looks a hell of a lot like Birkin there, doesn't he? Particularly Remake 2 Birkin. Begone, dogs. I don't need to go down there because I'm not bringing the ammo with me. Maybe a remake of remake will characterize John a bit more. So that's what everybody wants. A game with camera angles, you say? Fucking hell. Can't enjoy that. The thing is as well, I mean, you know, when I replayed the director's cut for you guys a while ago, I still think even the gameplay in that's fairly tight, you know, for what is an older game. It you know, it controls and plays ever so well still. You know, and yet it's the most sort of clunky and awkward of all these games, and it still plays pretty responsively. I just find there's such a sadness that people can't appreciate these older games. I know many do, but if more did, there wouldn't be a need to remake.
Leon, can you hear me?
Ada, did you find anything?
Right here. Hey, I can't reach the ventilation hole. I'm going to have to find another way around. I'll catch up with you later.
What? Ada, wait!
Yeah, you know they will. They couldn't even do a canon, you know, run through of the story of Resident Evil 2. Can't believe there's no correlation really, or decent linkage between the scenarios. It's... Oh no, hang on, there is. It's just that there's multiple Mr. X's, of course. How could I get that wrong? Don't look at me, guys. They're actual theories that people have got and still maintain. Because don't you remember the scene in this that's not in the remake? And I can't believe people use this as a, you know, a way of supporting that theory. There's a scene in the original which shows multiple containers. Mr. Spencer, hello and welcome. Exactly. Hey, as long as the Dead Factory fight's better than the one that's in Orc. Because Christ, it couldn't get much worse. That's a damn minigun. I'm not savvy enough with firearms to know whether there is a difference between a Gatling gun or a minigun. There's one moment, and I remember saying it on the podcast, that I almost gave. It was the closest I've ever given Orc a pass, and it's in the Spec Ops campaign when they come across Carlos just after Jill's passed out, and they basically buy Carlos time to get Jill away. It's about the only moment I quite like, because it feels respectful enough to the lore that could happen. Yeah, there's quite a lot of changes, Mr. Spencer, and I am okay, thank you, for a Monday. I mean, who out of us truly likes a Monday? Yeah, it's not too bad today, thank you. When I was leaving work, my car said 27 today. It was very warm for a spell, which is high for the UK, by the way, Kendo. I know it's probably not a lot for you guys over there, but that's high for the UK. It is talking about being very cool by the rest of the week. I've got a fan running. I hope the mic's not picking it up. No, that's a service station apple pie, Mr. Spencer. I know that reference. I'm going to squeeze this, and molten apple will come shooting out. And either way, one of us is going down. Forgive the. I know that's not the correct quote, but it's close enough. The theatre of conflict. Oh god, that's funny. I do wonder whether the likes of Alan Partridge have, translated well to our friends over the water. So, this proves they can just upscale the art. They just chose not to with the Rebecca photo. I'm now curious to see what that Rebecca photo would look like upscaled, because those images, they don't look too bad. I see we've got some new people judging by the viewer count, so just to recap, they have upscaled Rebecca Chambers' photo so well, she's a different person and it's a different era. There's the original artwork, and that is the Remake 2's one. I'm sorry, Mr. Sonny. I've just got to keep it open for people, so they know what they're looking at. You know, so as we come to the end of the police station, because we're about to leave it, for the most part, the changes have been hugely positive. The changes to the plaques, the things like that, the signage, it's all welcome. The change to the Nemesis window is obviously excellent, and the addition of the RPD at the Phantom Gate, as we call it, is definitely a welcome one. It's just that 1969. But I'm really looking forward to the marshalling yard, and it'll be interesting to see what they've done with the lab. Which really, you know, when you actually think about it, when you actually break down Resident Evil 2, we're already like probably entering the last third in terms of like how the game works, because the rest of the game is just a roller coaster. Still doesn't get around the supplement material of the Remake 2 though, Sonny, saying the museum due to reopen in 1969. Michael Warren was asleep at the wheel. No idea. What you mean, as a mayor, not noticing what was happening? Oh yeah, very much so. But I would imagine he was probably kept very much in check by Umbrella and large payments.
Get away! Ben!
I'm just gonna let the scene play out and nip off
Can you still hear me?
stream for a sec.
Come on,
So just
answer.
if I'm stood around a bit when I get before I get back, just bear
I
with.
don't believe this. I almost got the story. Ben. Bitter irony. The chief of police, a co-conspirator. Get that scum. Make him pay. Hang in there, Ben. Oh, my chest. It's burning. What's wrong? Ah!
Good God, what was that?
I agree. Sonny, I think Irons is a much more powerful character in this version of the game. I think they completely ruined him in the remake. I think he went way overboard.
Where are you going, Ada?
To the chemical plant. I have a feeling that's where I'll find John.
Ada, wait! Hey! Do you read me, Claire? We now have access to the back of the parking lot.
Got it.
I'm getting out of here and heading to the sewer. Can you meet me there?
I'm on my way.
Alison Court's line delivery of "I'm on my way there" is so perfect, because when you play Leon A first, you don't understand why she sounds so down about the fact that they can escape. And when you play Claire B, obviously it's because you know Sherry's just run off, and she's probably quite reluctant to leave. It's just a genius, absolutely genius piece of voice acting. Irons in Remake 2 is a relatable character. No, I don't agree with that one. Not Remake 2 at all. I certainly don't get funky feelings over taxidermy. But no longer. The morphing effects for these creatures were so ahead of their time. This game was just a technical masterpiece for 1998. Cameo was just way ahead of his time with this. I'm all for less is more, Mr. Spencer. I think, you know, the cameo it got in Outbreak was nice enough.
Ada! What was that all about? Running off like that was reckless and stupid. Those zombies are everywhere. Not to mention that thing that got Ben.
I was there, Leon. I know.
Look, Ada. As an officer, it's my job to look out for you. But we're not going to get through this alive if we don't work together.
See, what?
Okay?
I think the big difference between this Ada and Remake
We'll do
Ada
this your way for now.
is that this Ada doesn't really care over much for Leon and his ways, but she manages to do it in a way that doesn't come across as massively bitchy. Whereas in Remake 2, she's so unlikable as a character, and I think that's the biggest problem with the cast in Remake 2. Is they're just not overly likable characters anymore. Yeah, I agree. Whereas it feels in Remake 2 that she only ever uses the connection to get what she wants. It's just it's a lot more subtle in this and not as on the nose as Remake 2 is. Just do a save state here. Hopefully it won't crash on us. There we go.
Ada! Heads up!
Leon, that woman was... I have to talk to her.
I much prefer this Annette as well. I'm just going to let this play out, guys. I'm not going to talk over this.
Don't move. You're the one who was with that cop, if I'm not mistaken. Identify yourself. Ada Wong. Ada Wong. I've heard that name before. Now I remember. One of the men from Chicago who came to assist the T-virus research used his girlfriend's name as his password. Ada and John, I believe. How did you know? Who are you? Annette Birkin. My husband is the man responsible for the creation of the T-virus. William Birkin. What? John's dead. He became one of those zombies. My condolences. And although I regret this, you will be joining him shortly. I won't let anyone take the G-virus away from me. G-virus? It's capable of creating the ultimate bioweapon. Its potential is even greater than that of the T-virus. Then that must mean the creature in the police department is... precisely my husband, William. And it's all Umbrella's fault. None of this would have happened if they hadn't tried to steal his research away from him.
This way. It's sheer perfection. My precious G-virus. No one will ever take you away from me.
There he is.
So you finally come.
Doctor, we're here to collect the G-virus sample.
Sorry, but I won't just hand over my life's work.
Stop it. You might hit the sample. That's it, all right. Okay, let's move out.
William. Oh my. Hold on, darling. I'm taking care of that bullet wound first. Stay here.
Alpha team, have you retrieved the sample yet?
Affirmative. We'll
Roger.
Are you telling me that he injected the G-virus into his own body?
The G-virus has the ability to revitalize cellular functions.
What was that? Something's wrong. Let's check it out. Over there! Shoot it! Eat this, you freak! I'm stopping it! What is this thing? Hurry! What is this thing? Fire! Fire! You son of a...
Legendary.
So those rats were the carriers of the virus.
As a result of his virus-induced transmutation, William should have lost any prior memories he had as a human by now. Even worse, every G-virus bioweapon, including William, has the ability to implant embryos into other creatures.
And create offspring. No. Too bad.
Ada?
I don't know whether you guys saw, but earlier I linked a video of a chap who's used the same upscale method here for the separate ways cutscenes, and they're the best they've probably ever looked since mid 2000s. There's still a long way to go with getting them looking right, but they're certainly the best they've looked in probably nearly 15 years. I'm very much surprised they didn't bother with spiders. Spiders, and both spiders and crows. They're big parts of this game. These backgrounds have come up well because these were particularly rough-looking backgrounds in terms of colour depth and everything. They've come up really nicely, actually. You see the alligator in the water? I've never noticed. The alligator is so half-arsed in its inclusion in Remake 2 that it feels like such an afterthought. I hate that sequence as well, where you have to try and dodge it. It just feels so broken. I'm so rubbish at it.
Leon.
This bullet wound isn't making things any easier.
Quiet, Leon. I'll patch you up. That's 2 I owe you.
Don't mention it.
I just found out. John's dead.
What?
Never mind. Let's just get out of here. The sooner the better.
Left, right, left. Left, right. Oh, you're talking about the alligator. Yeah, sorry. In fact, it might be right. That's about as. Which is it? Didn't update that image there. Marshalling yard then. Out of interest, guys, theory here. What do you suppose is that little tremor that happens there? This sequence was cleverly reimagined in Remake 2, I'll give them that. I mean, this is upscaled really well, this area. It gives me hope that the marshalling yard's going to look great. I haven't got the shotgun. I left it behind. I know that the team did revise the fire effects. They actually do look pretty nice, it must be said. It'd have really thrown me if I would have gone up the ladder there and it was the RE0 background. I don't think do you even I don't think you see the number in scenario A, do you? I can't remember. Oh look, we can truly see clearly now though. There's no 0 door there, is there? Where's the 0 door then, guys? See, that looks... The night sky looks really nice there. You know, now we get a really clear look. I bet that doesn't match the geography in 0 or Outbreak 2 at all. Sorry, Outbreak File 1 at all, does it? There's definitely not a shed on the opposite side, anyway. Try and get all the camera angles. That's neither here nor there, is it? That's frustrating. I just managed to obscure all the numbers each time. Are you ready for some good music? It says 6 over there, look. It said it in the cutscene. Is that right?
Ada! Ada! Can you hear me? Come on, snap out of it!
Updated the caution sign there. It doesn't even say caution anymore, it's a security panel. In case you're in an emergency, it matches the on-screen text. I don't know why they changed caution to security panel though. I was just letting the music play. I let him get a free hit because I was listening too much. That's my bad. Notice how the upscale panel didn't. The upscale didn't give us the panel from Outbreak as well. That's bizarre. That would be next level changes to the backgrounds if they actually incorporated some of the Outbreak changes.
Come on! Wake up! Come on!
That looks amazing, that does. That's a massive difference.
Welcome back. Hey, take it easy. We're inside Umbrella's secret lab. I'll go find something to treat that wound, so just rest here in the meantime.
But I'll only slow you down with these injuries. Go. Save yourself.
I told you, it's my job to look after you.
But you'll be in danger if you stay with me. I know I've only known you for a short period of time, but I really enjoy being with you. I know I'm not capable of caring about anyone, but I don't want to lose you.
We're leaving this place together. Wait here for me. I'll be right back.
I agree. A piece of music so good they even brought it back in Resident Evil 6. What does that tell you? Oh, lab's looking good. That's a huge difference. I never even realised it said umbrella above the door. It maybe didn't, they maybe interpreted that, but you know, it's a sensible one. This is a big update, this is, to the original art. That's upscaled very well. Yeah, it did always say umbrella. Aside from that 1969 issue, this is pretty much release worthy. You know, they could package this and put it on the PS4 or the Xbox One, and it's a good looking version of the game. It really is. You know, and one has to bear in mind that these are not high quality backgrounds. These aren't like the Resident Evil 3 ones where they had already a decent sort of base to work with. These are, you know, stupidly low resolution backgrounds. I would actually love to see that, Sonny. Yeah, that you could maybe look at restoring the music in places where it wasn't, even with the DLC patch. You know, music DLC. I would have liked to see the Birkin boss music restored to the G3 fight. I think it's a shame it maintains the weird spear through the ceiling music from the cable car for the entire fight. That's one of the only ones I can think of. I know I don't need to go this way, I just wanted to see what these effects look like. It's just a case of trying to look at as many backgrounds as possible to see what they look like. Fucking hell. The Stars music in the DLC is perfect as it is. It needs no, yeah, it needs no addition there. The they chose the right track for the remake. I see. If there was a background revision here, which showed another ladder, just pointing out there, I'd have been like, oh my god. And if you go over and use it, it's like another ladder. It doesn't go anywhere or something. would just be amazing. That'd blow my mind if they put outbreak changes in these backgrounds, like a vent here that you can crawl through. Bloody hell, that was absolutely brutal. Oh, calm down, Mr. Liquor. I thought the evolved liquor looked great. You know what? And I didn't even think the Ivies looked that goofy, to be honest, because they still had the weird sort of clicking and creaking of the remake ones that made them work. But then I'm a purist, so I like all the original art and designs anyway. I do think like the new plant zombies, Ivies, whatever you want to call them, do look effective in remake. I was never a big fan of the Ivy, so I don't really care for that change as much as, you know, other stuff. But I didn't find the Ivy stood out too much. But the evolved liquor was absolutely fine. Yeah, I thought that looked genuinely great, to be honest. You see, now if they just edited this bit here to have a vent that you crawl through, my god, I would just be like, you absolute geniuses. So again, all these backgrounds have upscaled really well. The lab has ended up looking like one of the better parts of the Seamless HD project. This is really looking really good. Actually, see like little designs through the floor. I don't think I saw that one. Kayako, is that not the ring or something? The Grudge, yeah, of course it is. Sorry, yeah. Well, is that a remake 2 mod? Oh, this room again. Look at all the detail they've added. The ceiling looks insane. This looks like a proper creepy room when you can actually pick out the details. It's really eerie. Hello, Nuclear Dingoes. Yeah, they've done a really good job at, like we've said on the stream most of the evening and last night as well. Bar one edition, the work altogether is just staggering. We're just not a fan over much of them adding 1965 to the RPD logos, that's all. But other than that, it's looking fabulous. We're just about to wrap up Scenario 8, really. And then we will call it a night. She replaces the all the Ivy zombie. Oh no, I didn't see that. Which stream was that on then? That wasn't the same one as the Ivy zombies, was it? Oh, the plant looks incredible. You are very welcome, Mr. Spencer. I'd say we've got about 10 minutes left, and then we're done tonight. See, they've even cleaned up the text there. They've actually used a new texture. Caution ladder emergency. Use this ladder in case of emergency only. Thank you for the follow as well, Nuclear Dingoes. It's very nice, very kind of you. Here's a great angle. You can just see how much more detail's been added. I mean, look at the you know, the sort of mesh in the floor there. There's just detail that's literally come out of nowhere. It's a staggering project. And certainly do check out the Separate Ways cutscenes. As I said earlier, the Separate Ways cutscenes have been put through the same program that has created these upscaled backgrounds, and though they still are a long way off looking perfect, they're probably better than you might have seen them unless you played on a CRT way back when. Yeah, Sonny, they're still a long way off looking great. They really are, but they're a massive improvement on what we've got now. But certainly check out the. I shared it on Twitter earlier, so if you didn't want to search for it, it's on my timeline. But they certainly look better than they have before. Put it like that.
You murdered my husband. I know what you're looking for. You came for the G-Virus, didn't you? But you'll never take it from me. This is my husband's legacy. Now, where's that spy you were working with earlier? You know who I'm talking about.
What?
You really don't know anything, do you? You're so gullible. She's one of the operatives sent here by the agency. The only reason why she came here is to obtain the G-Virus.
That's a lie.
No, it's the truth. I discovered this when I did a background check on her. She specifically got close to John and became his girlfriend to get information about Umbrella.
That can't be. I know her. Ada wouldn't do something like that.
If you don't want to believe it, I don't really care. You're about to die anyway. What happened?
And that deep fakes of that was absolutely amazing. It's so much better than the version they use in the movie, and again, it's just another example of fans doing better work than like multi-million-pound studios. It actually sent a chill, you know, down my spine in a way that Rogue One didn't. Because it felt like, you know, it felt like real Carrie Fisher. That's the same team that did that. No, it's not. It's a different team. Sorry. But yeah, it's again, that's great work that fans can do with, you know, a fraction of the resources.
I've been waiting for you, Leon.
What are you doing?
You know what this is about. So just hand over the G virus.
I don't believe this. Annette was right. About everything.
That's why I told you to leave without me, but you wouldn't listen. Now hand it over. Don't make me shoot you.
You can't do that. Ada! Ada! I've got you. Don't give up.
G virus. Leon, it's over. Just let me go.
Shut up. You're gonna make it.
It's too late, Leon. We both know it.
No! I promised you that we would escape. You just have to help me out here.
I really wanted to escape with you, Leon. Escape from everything. Goodbye.
Ada!
Like Resident Evil 6 before it, just for a moment there you get the real Ada. The Ada that wants to escape from everything. What does she mean by that? We're probably never ever going to find out.
So, this is what everyone's been dying for.
Yep, regrettably, Sunny it does. Although, you know, the irony of that is she's actually by and far the best thing about Resident Evil 4. I just can't believe the upscale work here, how impressive it is. Aww. Added new text to the Biohazard logo, but I think the logo itself is actually the same.
Minutes until detonation.
And this background looks astonishingly good. There's your answer. it's almost a definitive version of the game, isn't it? It's ridiculous. It's amazing. Oh, why did they add 1969? Everything about this version is perfect. It's perfect except that. Best dog beast. The remake 2 dog beast, G5, 4. It's just rubbish. Which way are you going to jump down, you twat? Oh, that way. Had to be that way. Look at this bullshit. Oh, you know what? I don't think anybody pointed it out either. Nuclear dingoes. I like to think they would have done because just about everything else has been fixed. I do believe the inventory is a work in progress. Yeah, they've still got all the items to tweak and everything like that. I think that the Resident Evil 3 version is version 1.0, whereas this is already on 1.1. And what I did with tonight, they said in their Discord that this is actually the version that they packaged of the Dolphin emulator with Remake 3 is an updated version. So I literally just transferred the directory of Resident Evil 2 over to the Resident Evil 3 one and ran the ISO through that, and it has seemed a lot more stable with a lot less loading glitches. And apparently if you run it through an SSD you don't get any issues at all.
Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine.
It's over.
No. I have to find my brother.
You're right. This is just the beginning. Goodbye, Ada.
So far, scenario scenario A, so tired. All's good. This is a fabulous version of the game. I really wish they'd reconsider their opinion on the 1969 RPD badge. We have done, Mr. Spencer. We went on to their Discord last night, but ultimately it's their project. They want to do what they want to do, and you know, to fully respect all the work that's gone into it. You know, and I'm gonna finish this stream by saying the work done on this game is phenomenal. And it can't be faulted, even down to like the fixing of spelling errors, the additions to make it more sort of canonically correct. The 1969 thing is a preference of certain members of the community, myself included. I just don't agree with the inclusion of it within this game. That's all. It's upscaled quite nicely. BB Mac, you are most welcome. So that clarifies the A scenario. I won't be available to do it tomorrow, possibly not Wednesday, and we've got the podcast recording Thursday. The Ask Me Anything sessions with Project Umbrella podcast, so it's going to be interesting. If I can get a stream going Wednesday, I'll do my best, but otherwise we might even be going into next week, because I know I'm not available Friday, Saturday. So other than that, yep, that was spot on. Thank you. And I will finish by just saying, give this mod a go if you've got the sort of ability to be able to do it. It's really straightforward download. It's just obviously the sourcing of the ROM is the issue. I'm sure you guys know how to extract your very legally owned copies of Resident Evil 2 and 3 on the GameCube to be able to play this. So yeah, cool. Until next time, guys, thank you very much, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you for the follow, Nuclear Dingo, shout out to you, and hope to see you again very, very soon. See you all very soon, guys. Thank you. Cheers.